Welcome back to our podcast following the creation of the shows for Festival of Short Plays 50/50 in 2020. Today we will be following the making and challenges of the third play in our festival, Rise, by Crystal Skillman. The play follows a same-sex couple on their wedding day, the day that California legalized same-sex marriage, and the arrival of an unexpected guest, one of their exes. Since the play takes place on the same day same-sex marriage is legalized, I thought it would only be appropriate to give some information on the history of same-sex marriage, specifically in the state of California. California originally started handing out same-sex marriage certificates on June 16, 2008. The license, however, were halted on November 5, 2008 until June 27, 2013. This was due to an amendment in the state's constitution that barred same-sex couples from getting married. Eventually, this was seen as a violation of the U.S. Constitution and was appealed up to the Supreme Court under Hollingsworth v. Penny. Because of this case, a decision was issued. The Supreme Court decided that Proposition 8 under the California Constitution was unconstitutional. The stay in effect on same-sex marriage certificates was removed on June 28, 2013, and same-sex marriages were resumed that same day. This is the day that our characters in Rise, Jamie and Anna, are getting married. Since you've heard a little background about the play, we will now move on to a short question and answer with the designers. We have Stacy Olson, who is the set designer, Cassie Sand, who is the costume designer, and Katrina Seek, who is the lighting designer. So I'll start with Stacy. Did you plan on using sand at all in your set since it's on a beach? If you did, how would the crews have to maneuver around this obstacle, and how would you make it disappear in time for the next show?
That is a great question. I was struggling with that when we first chose the play because as set designer, I was obviously thinking like, oh my gosh, this is set on a beach. What are we going to do with the sand? But after conversations with Michael, the director, we decided that the sand was not necessary to create the beach atmosphere. So instead, there's set dressings like rocks that you would find on a beach and driftwood that I found in some research images. And I'm from the Bay Area, so I know what beaches are like in Northern California. So I'm able to like pull that life experience together to create the atmosphere that a beach would have without actually having sand.
Great. Cassie, so you had to find or make a wedding dress for this show. Since the style seems very niche, what options were you looking at to make sure that Anna stood out but didn't draw complete attention from the others the whole time?
So the most elaborate part of the dress was going to be the seashell bodice, which was going to have that seashell fabric and then have physical like seashells along like the waistline, and then maybe like one or two seashell strings where like the sleeves would be. And then the bottom of the mermaid dress is going to be a very flowy and simple long skirt, similar to the bottom of like Jamie's flowy jumpsuit. And then I put Jamie and Joy into dresses that kind of had the same ocean color scheme to it. And then Jamie and Anna were the characters that were supposed to stand out on stage as they are the center of the wedding. And then Joy didn't have a lot of time to get ready, so that's why she's not as elaborately dressed.
Thank you. And Katrina, since the theater we're working in doesn't have a traditional backdrop, how will you use the lightings to make it seem like the perfect beach day without a white backdrop to shine lights on?
Yeah, so I think with the three walls that we would have had, that would have portrayed part of that. And then with the lighting, we just would have made it nice and bright, but then also have that golden tint, that it was like around the golden hour, so that it showed that it was the perfect day.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much. Before we hear the reading from the play, we're going to quickly chat with our director, Michael Soliski. Hi, Michael. How was directing a reading different than directing a full play?
Directing a reading is a whole different ballgame than directing a whole play. The first thing that happens is that you lose that physicality that you have when directing a play. Like, you no longer have to think about blocking or stage directions or set dressing or any of the other things. Instead, you're only focusing on just the text. which is weird. It's like having one arm bound behind your back. You suddenly have this method of communication gone. So when you're directing a reading, the hardest thing is making sure that your actors are still getting the direction they need while also making sure not to get too heavy in the text work. It takes a lot more creative thinking and a lot more of letting the actor work out what they want to do on their own rather than walking them through everything.
Wonderful. So do you think that, I talked about earlier in this episode that this takes part during the legalization of same-sex marriage in the state of California. Do you think that this plays a part in the play? Has it shown in the dialogue? And were you going to try and make the legalization of same-sex marriage apparent in your rendition of the play?
It is a part of the play, and it actually is mentioned a few times by the characters, not directly, of course. It's set in around the same time period, and a few of them, Jamie mentions, like, so many people are getting married today, and can you believe we're finally allowed to be married? And so logically, this has to take place during the time when gay marriage was legalized in California. As for taking a huge emphasis on a play, I want it to be impactful, but I don't want it to be the main purpose of the show. Because while this is a great thing that happened and definitely would impact the lives of the characters, it's not the main focus. The main focus of the play is more on Joy and her healing process as she comes to terms with the life that she currently leads versus what she always thought she would lead. And while definitely being either lesbian or bisexual is a part of it, it is more about that loss of inner self that Joy is struggling to refine.
Now we will have a reading from Rise, directed by Michael Soliski. Anna will be played by Jocelyn Smith, Joy will be played by Anna Van Dorn, and Jamie will be played by Allison Blades.
Stop.
What?
You're kidding.
No.
She doesn't need to dance.
Everyone is dancing at the end. Everyone is wearing some kind of green. There are flowers. We say the vows, and everyone dances at the end the way I've planned our formal wedding for 7 years.
Baby.
Everyone got the video. Everyone knows this dance.
Well, we didn't know she was coming.
Who doesn't RSVP?
We're old friends.
She never calls you.
Hey, babe.
It's Monica. She's here with the chairs.
Wow. She's a spitfire.
She's a redhead. She's right. You could have told us. Before you got on the plane, maybe.
I really can't explain.
If that hasn't changed.
Look, I'm going. I'm fine.
Joy, you're not going anywhere. You look like shit. What's going on?
It's your day. I'm ruining it.
You leave, you'll ruin my day.
Look, I don't want to fuck this up, okay?
So you'll hop on a flight for 6 hours just to go back?
Don't be pushy, Jamie. I don't miss you being pushy. Don't make me hurt a bride.
I've been pushing weights for 3 months to look good for this. I've been boxing my ass off. You cannot get past me?
Fuck! Ugh! This morning I woke up hungover in my own vomit. The windows were open. My cats escaped, or I can't find them. My book has been passed on. That's 24 different publishers. That's 24 different agents. And I don't even like it anymore. It's not me. I'm just trying to be someone else in it. To sell. Sell because I don't know why. I want to write one story that someone opens and just goes, that changed me. That changed my life. But I'm not changing my life. I'm drinking a lot, and I tell myself it's the wine that goes with the pasta, but it's too much. And Sherry's been falling out of love with me for a long time, and I've been watching it happen like a TV show where you know what's happening. And Tina, we went through such hell to get her. Do you know I got the book you illustrated with all the monkeys? We sit and we count all the monkeys. All the fucking monkeys. And I think I should be good for something. I should be such a good mother. My mother was such a good mother, even though I gave her such shit. Are you gonna try to have kids?
Anna's looking into it.
Good. Good. See, you'll make a good mother. That's what I was thinking when I saw your invitation in the garbage after Sherry took Tina and left. I got off the floor. I got to the airport. I got on a plane. I followed the invitation, had a driver drop me off to Oakland Beach, and I don't know why. I don't know why you fucking invited me in the first place.
Don't you ever want to share who you are with your first love?
I was that for you?
You were that for me. So, making the list, I added you. I couldn't explain to Anna why, but even though she acts, she understands. I couldn't have met someone like her without meeting you.
Why?
Oh, honey, you loved me. You made me feel loved.
Can you do me a favor? Can you roll me? Can you roll me in the water and let the waves roll over me? Let the water rise over me. Let me drown, because I'm already drowning.
You can't drown.
Why?
You're a mermaid at a mermaid-themed wedding, and Anna will kill you if you don't play by the rules. And the biggest rule for a mermaid is she floats.
Swims?
You might float. I think you're a good floater. I think you'll be fine.
Monica's unloading the chairs. She sent Sally to help. Say hello, Sally. She's shy. You can put that there, sweetie.
I have it, honey. You take a break, okay?
What about those vows?
I don't have them. I'm not like you. I'm shit at writing. I have them... When I met you, I didn't know what love was. I thought I did. I thought I knew everything. The day we met here, the day you wore your silly pink hat and looked up at the sun, but the sun was me, this gigantic creature of a woman with red hair over you on your beach towel. You said I was in the way of the light. You were drawing the waves. But in them, you drew mermaids and creatures of the sea and fantastical things. You said you drew for kids, and I told you I made dances for adults. I thought looking at you, drawing, looking away from me, that I was seeing beyond something. I'd look at the world and see the beautiful stars and think what I saw was what was. But with you, the stars are a chariot, the waves a home. In my heart, we were always married. Now, we are wife and wife. But what a wife is with you changes. And I want it to always change. Like the water. Like us. I love this poem. You will remember that leaping stream where sweet aromas rose and trembled, and sometimes a bird wearing water and slowness its winter feathers. You will remember those gifts from the earth, indelible scents, gold clay, weeds in the thicket, and crazy roots, magical thorns like swords. You'll remember the bouquet you picked, shadows and silent water, bouquet like a foam-covered stone. That time was like never, and like always. So we go there, where nothing is waiting. We find everything waiting there. It's bad, it is! God, everyone uses Neruda!
I'm glad she has you. Will you show me? Again?
Thank you for watching this episode following the play Rise by Crystal Skillman. Stay tuned later today to catch episodes on the other two plays we produced, Superhot Raven and Raven 2 The Ravening, and Well Done Poets. If you haven't already, have a look at our previous episodes following the productions of In the Beginning and The Hour. We hope that you have enjoyed yourself, and thank you for your support during this difficult time.